3:27 to go. McNabb dropping. It's intercepted. And the 10 to the 20. Gone coast to coast. Randy Barber to the 50, to the 40. Barber to the 30. Nobody's going to touch him. Randy Barber. 10, 5. The Super Bowl, and they're trying to win it for it. Third down, 18. Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon. Those up to the head center side. At the 40. Derek Bucks 30. Bucks to the 29, 20. Derek Bucks all the way. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Hand off Alston over the top. Second effort. He's got it. We think. They think they got it. There it is. A triple triumph. He's tagged at the 41-yard line. That time the blitz pays off. And down and 10. Blitz coming. Haggerty flushed it. He's tagged at the 41-yard line. That time the blitz pays off. And Levante David has a quarterback sack. Here's the snap. Play action fake. Brady looking. Throws toward the end zone. Caught ball. Touchdown Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rob Gronkowski's got 2 today. Chiefs dropping to throw Mahomes. We run a stunt, and we sack him at the 50-yard line. Wow, he's clobbered. Fumble the football, recovered by the line. Here's the snap. Mahomes running to his right. Look out, he may run. Mahomes directly goes toward the end down. Battle intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world, and we still have 1:33 to go. Devin White, what a great second season. Here's the snap. Brady dropping, looking. Brady knows. Caught ball. It's caught. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Rachaad White. Touchdown Buccaneers. Fire the cannons. Bucs tie the game at 16. Down to the snap. Brady's going to throw. Looking. Goes a dart. It's caught. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin. He makes the catch right beneath the goalpost. Mayfield has time, cocks the arm, runs the ball. He's going to run to the 30. He runs to the 35. He has a first down. Wow. Hippie ankle, bruised ribs. He's got guts. But 6 guys up front. Bucs dig in. 2-point try. The push. And I don't know if he got it. They have not indicated yet. He did not get it in. In motion, Shepard to the left. We fake the end around, hand the ball off, running to the right. Irving inside the 10 to the 5. 3-2-1. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Bucky Irving takes it to the house. Second down, 10. Rachaad White now in the backfield. Baker Mayfield throws a sideline route, outfield. Caught ball to the 5. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Mike Evans does it again. Fire the cannons, Bucs. Here's the snap to Rattler. Here comes pressure. Gets the pass. Near sideline. Incomplete pass. Bucs take the ball away. On downs. Now in motion. Mike Evans drifts over to the left slot. Baker Mayfield shotgun. They know what we're going to do. Baker Mayfield looks, throws the ball to caught ball. Evans. He's got it to the 40-yard line. 1,000 plus. Mike Evans. 11 seasons in a row. How about them Buccaneers at number 13?
What is going on, Buccaneer Nation? Hope everybody's doing well out there. We have a very good show lined up for you. We might be having an open phone line pretty soon. Just waiting for the boss man, Peter Blake, to come through. But we have, like I said, we got a stacked show for you guys lined up here on the Frozen Pirate Podcast. I'm excited to be here again, exclusively on the Sports Web. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you guys listen to your podcast. The Frozen Pirate Podcast is there. I have a loaded show for you guys. I have a couple of guests coming in. I'm going to be doing State of the South as well with a special guest. I got a couple of questions for you guys, so I really want to see the comment section really active and going. Simeon Rice, we're going to be talking about. Hall of Famer. Obviously, us Buck fans know that. But is he better than Aaron Donald? Is he better than J.J. Watt? I think so, and I'll tell you why in a bit. What's the weakest links for the Buccaneers training camp? Also, what's the strongest part about this Buccaneer defense? I'm going to ask you guys. Can Baker Mayfield put together an MVP season? I'll tell you why he wasn't the MVP last year. Maybe he should have been. And we have some contracts coming to an end here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and why that may be a driving force for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers ball club to make the Super Bowl. But before I do, I want to play a clip for you guys of a dear friend of mine. Awesome dude, man. Awesome dude. If you're ever in the Fall River area and you're looking to get tattooed, this is the man to go to. Not just the man, but just the shop alone, the vibe that it brings. If I had to compare it, it's almost like a therapy session, if you will, as he likes to say. But it's always a good time with this dude. Going out with him, having some drinks. I have many fun memories of him. Again, one of the best street artists I've seen in a long time, been a part of. And it's always a pleasure being a part of just going to the shop alone. You can find this link on YouTube. I'm going to put it in my bio in the description for you guys to check it out. But without further ado, I'm going to say a Fall River legend. This is Fall River. If you guys out there in Tampa want to know what Fall River is all about, here it is.
I'm borderline narcissist megalomaniac, left unchecked. You should stop me whenever. Thank God my wife does that, but, you know.
When the boat is landing,
everybody's looking for identity. I wasn't playing school sports. I'm certainly not a musician, which I'd like to be. But I could do this thing. People didn't care that I could draw. But when they found out that I was willing to do tattoos on them, man, I was in. I was in. So I could go to every party. I could go to parties at the railroad tracks with all the jocks and the rich kids. I could go to the projects and hang out with kids that were in gangs at 16. And I could walk among all these people. And not only could I be in there, but these people wanted me in there. It gave me an ability to be somebody.
While you take a trip in a battleship on the old Fall River line, on the old Fall River line, on the old Fall River line.
So that dude right there, that's we like to call him Mr. Bruce. Bruce is, again, one of the best tattoo artists I know. And when I say tattoo artist, man, any style you want. But I'm going to put the link for that little documentary there that they shot on him in the bio. And I want you guys to go check that out. Give it a thumbs up. I mean, like I said, if you like tattoos, you're definitely going to like that. I mean, again, like I said, that dude is one bad mother. So, yeah, just go support him, man. Go check out the video. That's Fall River at its finest right there. Fall River's finest. Fall River Tattoo Company. Shout out to them. I have many pieces of artwork from them guys. They're all over the place. All right, let's get right into this Buccaneer stuff as I'm waiting on a couple of guests to join us. There's been talk, obviously, about Baker Mayfield. Last year, how he didn't get to get the MVP honors, if you will. And I want you guys to get busy in this comment section. I want it to be active tonight. Before that, we're doing a free jersey giveaway. I'm going to get it to the winner just before the season starts. any type of jersey you'd like, any jersey you want, I'm gonna have it there for you. Right before the season starts, I'm gonna do the Nike Vapor Unlimited, the $170 one there. I'm not afraid, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. And again, in order to do that, in order to be selected, to do that, you're gonna have to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on X. It's Louis FPP on X. It's the Frozen Pirate Podcast on Instagram, and Louis Lateo on Facebook. Any jersey you want. Ask one of our listeners before, Nick Green. He got a cool Antoine Winfield Jr. custom jersey of his choosing, and we got it out to him in under a week. So if you want a free jersey before you start the season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, before you start sweating your ass off at Raymond James Stadium, I strongly recommend you go and give this episode here a thumbs up, share it on your story. It's a little to no effort, man. And like I said, I'm exclusively here with the Sports Web. We are the evolution in sports talk on the digital airwaves. So let's get right into it. Baker Mayfield. Why didn't Baker Mayfield win the MVP last year? A lot of people are saying, that was unfair. It was, he should have won it. Let me just pull up his statistics right here. The dude had 4,500 passing yards. That's pretty impressive. 41 touchdowns, even better. 16 interceptions. We can work on that. The reason why Baker Mayfield didn't win the MVP, not because he got screwed. It's because of the simple fact that Baker they didn't get enough wins. If you're going to be the MVP, you have to get more wins. You have to put up at least 13 wins. You have to make a deep run into the postseason. And that's why this season is so important for Baker Mayfield. It's so important for Todd Bowles because there's a lot riding on this season. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of contracts up this year. So Baker Mayfield, I feel like, needs to play his ass off this year. And I think if Baker Mayfield can play his ass off this year, I think we're going to be a run-first team, in my opinion. But I think if Baker can put up the same stats and get up at least 13 wins and they make a deep push, you're talking MVP. I'd like to see him win MVP. How cool would that be? When was the last time we seen a Buccaneers quarterback as the MVP of the league? It's never happened. But this Buccaneer ball club, this is a different era of Buccaneer football. I want to get to the comments real quickly before we move on. Christopher Cole says, those are some awesome highlights. I appreciate that, man. I figured, as a Buccaneers fan, when I was putting together that countdown clock, you see like these average countdown clocks for the show, right? The countdown, the 5-minute countdown. I wanted to, and nobody wants to sit there and watch that tick away. I figured if I'm listening to a show and they have a countdown clock, how cool would it be just to listen to old calls from Mean Gene, some of the greatest calls in Buccaneer history? That's why I did what I did. And I'm going to continue adding to that. So that's how that idea came about, Christopher. So thanks, man. I appreciate you. Lamar, aloha, Louis. Aloha, man. I appreciate you, man. I see you. Very active yesterday on the Sports Web. Hopefully, like I said, I got a good show lined up for you guys tonight. Hopefully you guys get active in this comment section as well. Abraham, yeah, he's a key in that Super Bowl run, Simeon Rice. We're going to get to Simeon in a little bit. I'm just waiting for Leo to join us as well. Leo should be here soon. But yeah, Simeon was a huge part. Abraham, let me know. What do you think? Do you think that they still get that Super Bowl without Simeon? Let me know in the comments. All right. Bucs raise bolts. Let's go. Let's go, man. Appreciate that. Sitting on a mill, boss. Go Bucs all day long. Abraham, Baker didn't win due to turnovers and poor ball security. His play gets sloppy at times. Yeah, you're absolutely right. His play does get sloppy at times, but what quarterback doesn't? Sometimes you just kind of have an off day. Sometimes, it happens, man. It happens. Like you have some really bad games. Unfortunately, that happens. some really bad games. And I'll tell you one thing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when they have a bad game, they have a really bad game. Denver last year, that was a really bad game. I wanted that game to end after the first quarter. Uh, so, like I said, when they have bad games, man, they have bad games. Bucks, Rays, and Bolts need Evans to get 1,000 yards this year. Absolutely, man. You're not lying. They definitely need to get that man 1,000 yards. I want to see him break the record because, in my opinion, first ballot Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt. Sitting on a million says, I feel you on that one. Yeah. So back to the Baker situation. Let me know in the comment sections. Do you guys think that Baker can get the MVP? In your opinion? Like, we're looking at the schedule. I wish I had the schedule in front of me. I don't. I kind of had a little bit of an emergency today, man. I had a fucking. Oh, see, that's just the type of day I had, man. The AC in the house kind of let go. So I got to get a technician out here to come take a look at it. I had to buy some ACs, and I was putting one in the kitchen because it's an open floor layout, and I kind of slipped a little bit, and it just broke the faucet, and I had water squirting out. Good thing I do construction, man, because I knew how to shut it off quickly. But yeah, that's the type of day I'm having. So I'm a little bit behind on some of the stuff that I wanted to show you guys. But it's all good, man, because it's all up here off the top of my head. Let's go back to the comments. Abraham, maybe not because he gave them that pressure from the edge. Plus, he was able to drop into pass coverage like JPP did. Hopefully, Hassan Reddick can do that this year. You guys like Hassan Reddick? Do you guys think that Hassan Reddick can be the guy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Let me know in the comment section. Comment section's getting busy, man. Sitting on a million. I needed defense. Sorry, those letters are so small. I might change the font there. I need defense to play more man defense. So supposedly Todd Bowles says that that's not his call. That's the corners doing that. I don't buy that. I don't buy that one bit, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I buy that one. Just because I don't know if I buy that. I mean, you're running the show there. You're the defensive coordinator. So I mean, I don't know if I buy it one bit. So it is what it is. Let's go back to sitting on a million. I hope Baker gets the MVP this season and the Super Bowl. Yeah, man, that's kind of like our goal, man. Like I really have a good feeling about this season. And it kind of reminds me of the last time with when Brady first got here, and you kind of just knew we were going to win the Super Bowl, and it was wild. So again, for me, I kind of have that same feeling. As long as this team can stay healthy, they're going to go deep. They're going to make a postseason push, a serious postseason push. They have to stay healthy. That offensive line has to stay healthy. I'm going to read off these comments, and I'm going to go to Damn YouTube Sports Talk. Make sure you guys go follow him, man. He's got some cool stuff. The comment section is off the chart today, man. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Let's read the rest of these comments, and we're gonna go to him. Just because we're gonna be doing a segment called State of the South, man. I want to know how the Carolina Panthers are doing. He knows. So we're gonna be going on enemy lines there. So it's cool because, like I said, if you guys have been watching the show, that's a segment that I do, State of the South, and I'm trying to get a bunch of like Ralph's here for permanently, hopefully, for State of the South. He's representing the Panthers. They're kind of like the little brother of the NFC South right now. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm trying to get a Falcons fan on. Hopefully I can find one. So if anybody knows any Falcon fans that do podcasts, let me know. Tell them to hit me up. I'm looking for somebody to join. 1 second. Producing on the fly here, as my boss would like to say. But yeah, it's that, and I'm trying to get a Saints fan as well. That would be pretty cool. But we'll see what happens. All right, let's go to these comments, and we're gonna go to Ralph. All right, let's see. Already read that one. I hope Baker. Yep. No good, Louis. Sometimes we got to throw in an F bomb. Yeah, like I said, I had a very frustrating game. What do I do? What do I do? I'm like, nothing. And I'm just sitting there just trying to shut the water off. No. And this was like literally like 3 hours ago. You could never tell by my face, huh? All right. Can Dean play better this year? Yes, I'm expecting Dean to play better this year. He shaved his head, man. That just shows me that he means business. Hopefully he can. And if he can't, he's out of here. Simple as that. I think Dean last year in Tampa could be, if he does not perform, could be. I mean, we just drafted a bunch of corners, bunch of help there. So Christopher Cole says if they stay healthy, yes, Baker will be in the running for MVP. All right, I'll get to the rest of the comments because I don't want to keep him waiting any longer. Let's add him to the stage here. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's happening, man? What's up? What's going on?
And how we doing out there? How's the weather out there?
It's hot, sticky.
I hear you, man. It almost hit 90 up here today in Massachusetts, but that's okay because then next week it's going to be like 50 degrees and raining, like it's usually been.
Y'all had that weird weather.
Yeah, you never you never get used to it at all. So what's up, man? So we're doing State of the South, man. So I got to ask you, what's going on with the Carolina Panthers? Should the Tampa Bay Buccaneers be worried? And for everybody out there here on the Frozen Pirate podcast, introduce yourself. Let them know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Ralph Sneaks, man. I got Damn YouTube Sports Talk on IG and YouTube. You can follow and subscribe, but uncensored sports content, IG and YouTube. But as a Carolina Panther fan, NFC South, I think it's gonna be more competitive than a lot of people think. You know, outside of the Saints, I don't see the Saints doing much of nothing but just playing the season because they got to, you know. But I think between the Bucs, Panthers, and Falcons, it's gonna be real competitive. I think we're gonna split. All three of the teams gonna split with each other. Nobody's gonna, sweep nobody. I think everybody's gonna, split the season series between the South. But it's looking real competitive. You know, we got I like Jimmy Horn Jr. I think he's a lot to make the, he's gonna be in the rotation heavy. Because his speed in his hands is coming in when we was just having mini camp. You know what I'm saying? Not even the mandatory camp. It was just, the rookies. Like he was a major standout. You know, his speed was off the charts, his hands, just his whole lining up in the formations, just everything he knew about, the wide receiver position already coming in. So I think he's gonna be a part of the offense more than what a 6th-round rookie would normally be. You know what I'm saying? And then I could see him next year taking another step, so and with Xavier Legette, I think they need to use him more like Debo. Not much so, that deep down the field. Hopefully his hands got better over the offseason, you know what I'm saying? Because he dropped some passes, he dropped some costly passes last year. So I think we need to get the ball in his hand more, but not much so is like throwing it deep down the field. If you have to use him like a Debo with the end around or in the wide receiver screen, I know usually you don't use guys that big, 6'4", whatever. You usually use them down the field because they got the height advantage. But I think if you use him kind of like Debo, it will kind of open up the offense more, especially when you got Tech McMillan there and Jimmy Horn in the slot. And
you excited about Tech McMillan?
Yeah, I actually like Tech McMillan. I think he's gonna be he's definitely gonna be the #1 guy, especially with Dave Canals there. I think he's gonna be Dave Canals' version of Mike Evans in Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of people have been giving him that because I've been paying attention to the Panthers, not too much, but usually come training camp, I kind of like to scout the competition, see what's going on. And I did say last year, I said, hey man, you can ask a co-host of mine, Jamie. I said, I think you were on the episode, that wild episode, that first one there, when he was reading out my predictions, man. And I said that changes the balance of power in the NFC South, man. Canales is not joking around. He's not messing around. He's a decent coach, and he's going to change that team. And it takes about 5 to 8 weeks to really see what you got as a team, especially for a new coach. You got to see what your players are. And he really I feel like he really turned that team around, man. I think he did a fantastic job, especially towards the back end of the season. You guys were right there competing. But I'm watching, man. And with Tech, I can kind of see the Mike Evans comparison there. You can tell he does miss that a lot, not having that there in Carolina. But I got to ask you, because you had an interesting comment. You said that all 3 teams outside of the New Orleans Saints. So you just think that the South is just going to basically sweep the Saints, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I haven't looked at the schedule to see which one of the teams actually played New Orleans early, like maybe the first month of the season.
Yeah, our schedules are messed up. Not messed up. They're a little funky this year because, well, I noticed that the NFL's been doing that. They've been kind of, beginning half of the season we play, and then the back end of the season you play your division opponents. But this year it's a little different. Bucs and Panthers, man. I think we see you guys week 16, and then we see you guys again week 18. So that's going to be interesting.
2 of the last 3 weeks we see y'all.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So I've been saying that the Buccaneers and Panthers, and this is not popular with the Buccaneer and the crew community. I said I think the Panthers and the Buccaneers are going to split the series. In my opinion, I think we sweep the Saints, and I think we sweep the Falcons. I really do, just because I feel like we have a receipt for them, and I think it's going to be one of those things where, we kind of go blow for blow with the Falcons. But I think this year, I think we sweep them. Where do you see as far as you can see right now with the draft and all that? Because I say with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I said, hey, right now on paper, they're a 13-4 on paper. That doesn't mean, hey, when they hit the field, they should be 13-4. Where do you see the Carolina Panthers? Do you see them in first place, second place? Do you think they're going to be much more improved?
I definitely think they're going to be much more improved. You can't be no worse than they was on defense last year. I think stat numbers wise, they was like one of the worst defenses in NFL history. You can't get no worse than that. So I think they got better on defense. They drafted 2 edge rushers, one out of Texas A&M and then the other out of Ole Miss. So they got 2 solid edge rushers. We get Derrick Brown back. We drafted a safety. We paid J.C. Horn. And we got some linebackers in free agency. So I think we're gonna be much better on defense. Offensively, I think we definitely gonna be better. I think last offseason we spent a lot of money on the O-line. Right. So throughout the season we kind of had to shuffle the O-line around. But down the stretch towards the end of the season, when the O-line was all healthy and we started playing better and Bryce got more time in the pocket, you started to see, what he can do from the pocket, from a clean pocket with a good O-line. So I think that's what's going to translate over into this season. Now that we added, offensive weapons, because I think we're going to be running like 3 running backs, because we got Rico Dowell, Chuba Hubbard, and we drafted Travis Etienne. So he's going to mix Etienne in with Dowell, because Dowell is only on a 1-year deal. So when Dowell roll, it'll be the Chuba Hubbard and Travis Etienne show. So they definitely going to be better. I'm looking for them to at least no less than 9 wins. You got to improve on 5. We got 5 last year. We should have had more than that, but we only ended up with 5. So I'm looking for 9 wins. And this is the year that Bryce gotta show what he made of. And I think they bring out the best, because everywhere he's went, the quarterbacks he had has gotten better under him.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do see. I like a lot of you said a lot of good points, man. And Bryce did get a lot better. Who do you think the weakest link? Well, what's the weakest part about the Carolina Panthers? Something like a position that you're kind of like worried about that they didn't address. Because like I said, right now you got the audience. You're talking to a lot of Buccaneer fans right now. So I'm just kind of curious. As a Panthers fan, who do you think is the weakest link on that team, like as far as wide receivers, depth, or like defense? Like, what are you most concerned with right now?
I think the weakest link would be probably secondary. I'm not real high on our safeties. Even though we drafted one, and I think it was like the fourth or fifth. I think it's the fourth round we took safety out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
But he was a rookie. So I'm
Yeah,
not
but you know what? Those boys come pro ready. They like what they do at Ohio State. Like,
they
I get what you
pretty much
Yeah,
they
go ahead.
pretty much do. They secondary is pretty much like they secondary at Ohio State is almost like wide receivers. Like they come ready, you know.
Right.
But I think that's gonna be the weakest link. Now I think he will get better as the season goes. Which I would prefer him to, you know, have his rookie struggles early in the season and then pick it up in the back end rather than just come out and play good, because it's gonna be hard for rookies to sustain that a whole year. So
Right.
I would like to have another corner. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure Alexander, but obviously he went to the Ravens.
Yeah,
That would have
Ravens
gave
are
us another
scary, man.
That
On
would have gave
defense,
us
they're looking scary.
yeah. Baltimore gonna be real. The only thing they can slow them down is injuries. You know,
Yeah,
or might get suspended or something like that.
They're my pick for the AFC to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That's my pick, man. They're scary, man. They shored up that offense. They paid Derrick Henry. You know, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Like that's gonna be a team, man. I think that's the year that Lamar advances to Super. This could be the year that Lamar gets the Super Bowl championship, man. So we'll see. But keep going. So the weakest link, you don't like the secondary. You're not too big on the safeties. I mean, that's kind of concerning, man, because like I said, you're going in there now, and you guys got to cover Jalen McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, Mike Evans. I mean, I don't know if Chris is going to be ready. So, I could see why you could be concerned. I mean, what's a strong point of the Carolina Panthers offense where you're kind of like, okay, or the defense that you're like, all right, we're set over here. This is what's going to lead us into a deep run, maybe the playoffs.
I think one thing that I'm real high on is the run game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For people that don't know, you know what I'm saying, Carolina usually have a run game. They usually a run first team and then they pass off the run. You know what I'm saying? Even back when we had D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. It was years where both of those guys had 1,000 yards.
You guys killed the Buccaneers, man, with those two running backs.
And even after we got rid of D'Angelo Williams and kept Jonathan Stewart, he still ran for 1,000 yards. We brought in Mike Tolbert. He didn't run for 1,000 yards, but he had, you know, kind of a slight resurgence to his career coming over to Carolina. Even if you go all the way back to Stephen Davis, Tim Bianca-Batuka.
Tim Bianca-Batuka. Now you're taking it back, man.
Yeah, Fred Lane. You go all the way back to them guys. You know what I'm saying? They always had a run game, and they operated off the run. They operated the pass off the run game. So I think that was one of the big issues last season. We didn't get the run game going until midway through the season. Once we started getting some guys back healthy on the offensive line. So now that we got 3 backs that we're going to be operating with, and we got 2 tight ends, you know what I'm saying? It gives Dave Canals options in the play action game, you know, and then you got 2 big 6'3", 6'4" targets down the field. Then you got some nice slot receivers, and then you got a veteran sure-handed guy in Adam Thielen. So I think it's going to be kind of a mixture of old school Panther football mixed in with Dave Canals, you know, scheme. You know what I'm saying? So I like the run game, you know. I think Chuba Hubbard is like an underrated running back. You know, what he did last year, you know, it's hard to kind of duplicate a Christian McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying?
You can't replace that guy.
Yeah, you can't replace that. So a lot of what he did went under the radar, you know, but he rushed for 1,000 yards, and the offensive line was banged up. So, you know, Dave Canals got a lot of options with 3 running backs now, and, you know, running 2 tight end sets and then having the receivers that he has. So the run game, I think, is going to be really what set up a lot of stuff for Carolina offensively.
All right, man. I as always, I appreciate your input, man. We're going to be doing a lot of this throughout the season. It's dead slow right now, man. Nothing going on. We're just sitting here waiting for training camp. Let's go to the comments real quick. Aloha Ralph from Lamar, man. Look at that, man. You already liked over here. And you're a Panthers fan. Oh, what do we got here? Tim Haynes says ATN can't block worth of shit. QB will end up in the hospital. Come on, man. I don't know about all that. They got 3 running backs. Real quickly before you go, man, what do you got to say out of the comment?
I don't think ETN is. I think Dave Canals can kind of, get around that. You know what I'm saying? I think he's not gonna get a ton of playing time. He's gonna get enough playing time to kind of get him ready for next year after
Right.
Rico Dow leaves. You know what I'm saying? So him not blocking, I mean, he's gonna get better with that, because you gotta protect the quarterback. So
Yeah.
if you ain't blocking, then they'll find a way to deliver the message to him, like, you ain't gonna see the field unless you block. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You ain't gonna see the ball unless you block. So until you prove you can block, which I think he'll get better at, so I wouldn't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? It's that we'll get around that. 3 running backs, we'll get around that.
Hey, we got a couple of running backs here in Tampa too. It's a 3-headed monster by Rashad White, Bucky Irvin, and Sean Tucker. All right, man. I appreciate you jumping on, man. As always, looking forward to seeing you. Hopefully you can be a regular here weekly on the Frozen Fire podcast for the State of the South segment, man. I'd really appreciate that, man. If you got anything going on with the podcast, let everybody know. Let everybody know where they can find you before you get out of here.
Damn _U2 _sports talk on IG. The same thing on YouTube. We got the Damn U2 Sports Talk podcast coming soon. I keep you posted.
Pretty cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I keep you guys posted. Just follow the content. It's uncensored sports talk, not just football, but it's football, basketball, baseball, it's everything. You know what I'm saying? So
let me know if you need any graphics or any layouts, man. I don't charge crazy, man. But like I said, let me know whatever you need. Just hit me up, message me, man. We'll get that stuff up and going. If you got any questions on anything, just let me know, man. Because I've been through a lot of trial and error doing this stuff, man. So
appreciate
reach
it,
out,
man.
Feel free, man. Feel free to reach out.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, man. I appreciate your time, man. Looking forward to seeing you.
All right, man.
Thank you.
All right.
That is Ralph from Damn U2 Sports Talk. I really hope he gets that podcast up and going, man, because he's got a lot of really good content. Like I said, his YouTube, his Instagram channel is like my Sports Center quickly. The stuff that he puts in the stories, the most relevant things going on in sports. All right. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Leo, how's it going, man? How we doing?
It's going fine. Had a little bit of had to change a meeting to tonight, so sorry I couldn't get on at 7:30, but I can do 8:29 with you, buddy.
Hey, no problem, man. So we were just, I was just doing State of the South with Ralph from Damn U2 Sports Talk. Leo, Carolina's looking pretty good. Not gonna lie, I've been saying that we might split the division with them. I mean, we're gonna split the series with them. Dave Canales really has them going. They played very good at that back end of the season, competing with teams like the teams like the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, and they were right in it with a lot of teams. Real quickly before we get into our topics here, where's the boss man? Where's Peter? Mr. Open Phone Line. We got to get open phone line.
Well, after last night, he's probably trying to figure out how to get StreamYard to work. My God, what an abortion. But we got it done, didn't we, Louis?
Yeah, we did. We got Seneca on there.
How about Seneca hanging on for what, 40 minutes in the dark?
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. If you guys haven't seen it, man, go to the Sports Web YouTube channel. Again, we had a great show. JP Peterson was on that show talking about the Rays and their situation. That was really cool. I actually became a huge fan of the JP Peterson show. I didn't know too much about him. I've heard about him, and then I stumbled upon his show, and then ever since then, hooked. Every day, 10 a.m. I actually wear my headphones in at work when I'm not supposed to, but I listen to the show. I don't care. And you know what? A lot of good insight over there. So make sure you guys go check out the JP Peterson show. Weekday, Monday through Friday, 10 to noon. Leo, let's get into it. So I got to ask you, because I got the stats in front of me. Is Simeon Rice, in our opinion, we think he's a Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt. Is he up there with Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt and the likes of those guys? Because these are the new era of pass rushers. Obviously, Aaron Donald is no longer in the NFL, but he was a force to be reckoned with. How do you feel about putting Simeon Rice? Do you think he's above those guys or below those guys?
He's right there with them. And what people don't realize until you stand next to Simeon, he is a lot of 6'6".
Oh yeah.
He is a big man. And I can remember his first day at practice. And I'm looking down there, and Rod Marinelli's got him out there, and they used to have a bag with an arm on it. And the Bucs rushers always went for the passing arm. And that's because they had a bag that they would work on. They'd come in, boom, go to the arm, wrap with the other. Go to the arm, wrap with the other. Simeon got down so low, he looked like a jaguar coming out of a stance.
He was fast.
And he was 6'6".
Yeah.
I mean, the man was a freak of nature. Should he be in the Ring of Honor? Should have been in 5 years ago.
I agree.
If he's someone who is deserving of consideration for the Hall of Fame, absolutely. He was the missing piece to that Buccaneer defense. He was the one that when Sapp drew the double team, he was the guy that would beat the one-on-one. So, yeah, he was definitely deserving of being in the Ring of Honor with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he is definitely deserving in being in the Hall of Fame consideration. He is, if he's in the Hall of Very Good, he's in the top of the class. Let's put it that way.
Well, I got some stats here, Leo, because I was talking to a few people, and they seem to think that, and believe me, I completely understand why people would say, no way, Aaron Donald's better than Simeon Rice. But I will say this. They both each have a Super Bowl. Aaron Donald was very dominant. J.J. Watt was very dominant, but couldn't get the Super Bowl. But this is why I say that Simeon Rice could have the edge over these two guys. 122 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Watt, 114.5 sacks. Aaron Donald, 111 sacks. Simeon Rice, 28 forced fumbles. 3-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion. And he basically led the league in sacks quite a few times. And he was co-sack leader a few seasons as well. Those other guys, J.J. Watt, 5 Pro Bowls. Listen, and then Aaron Donald, 10 Pro Bowls. I don't count Pro Bowls anymore, Leo. I mean, is that a crime?
No, it's not. It's pretty much a popularity contest.
Right.
And again, when you look at the Pro Bowl, people don't want to compete in it, and I don't blame them. I mean, there's way too much money on the table to play in really what is an exhibition game.
Yeah.
It's something.
There's no meaning to it anymore. No. There's no. I remember as a kid, Leo, watching the Pro Bowl, and it was exciting. Guys were hitting each other. Sean Taylor absolutely killed what's-his-face, the punter. That's unheard of now, but that's, to me, Leo, that's when football was football. And I say just get rid of the Pro Bowl altogether and just do a skills competition at the end.
I don't think they need to do anything, Louis. Just let it go. We'll name a team and that's it. But I'll tell you how old I am. I can go back when the college all-stars played the NFL champion.
Why don't they do that?
I tell you what, again, there's just too much money involved. It's gotten to a point where it's outlived its usefulness. Again, it's kind of like all the excitement we had down in Tampa Bay when Hassan Reddick wasn't showing up for the voluntary OTAs. Key word there is voluntary.
Yeah.
People got to remember
we talked about that. Voluntary. Yeah. You don't need to be there. It's okay. And a lot of people didn't understand that. And I said, hey, man, it's a lot. And I told people, you remember, Leo, I said not to freak out because it takes a little bit of time, man. You get into a new area that you're not familiar with. You gotta buy a house. You gotta change your mailing address. There's a lot that goes into that stuff, man. When you're moving from one place to another, especially out of state, you got to get an ID. You got to purchase a vehicle. You got to get insurance. There's so much going on. It's a lot. And I like the comment that he said, hey, I just kind of needed to get grounded first, and I got everything all situated with. And long behold, he showed up. He's here. So, I think I kind of get a little bit of the Simeon Rice vibes with Hassan Reddick because it's kind of like intertwined. It's like, we desperately needed a pass rusher. That Buccaneer club of that era desperately needed the pass rusher, and they got it. And long and behold, they winded up getting, Super Bowl out of it. Let's go to the should I go? You know what? I'm gonna hold off on the comments because I know your time here, Leo. I got to ask you too, and I was talking about this a little bit on the beginning of the show, Leo. Baker Mayfield's MVP season, is it a possibility in your opinion? Can he be a running for MVP? He is a dark horse right now to win the MVP. Your honest opinion.
He's in the conversation. Again, if he has a career year, and then we're talking 40 touchdowns, less than a dozen interceptions, that's a career year. And he's got the propensity and he has the weapons to do that. Again, what scares me the most about Baker is how hard he plays. He doesn't think that, okay, let me slide, let me go down so I can live to play another day.
Right.
He's not built like that. His brain doesn't work like that. Look at when he's going for a first down. He doesn't slide. He lowers his shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's something, it's you admire his competitiveness, you admire his desire, but every time he does that, I'm thinking, dear God, just be able to get up and make the next play. Because right now, I don't need in game 4 for him to dive head first and end up with a concussion and be out 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's scary. And this is something that I talked about and I've heard on JP's show as well. Should they bring in a more experienced veteran guy? Because we don't know what Kyle Trask is made out of. We don't know what we got in Kyle Trask. I mean, what did we really see? A one pass, 2 passes here and there. I kind of put that on Bowles a little bit, on Coach Bowles, just because. Do you remember that year when we was supposed to, like, it didn't even matter if we beat the Falcons or not? We already clinched the playoff berth, and they didn't start Trask. I believe they started him like late in the game or whatever it was. I forgot what it was, but they could have started Trask in the second half just to kind of see what you had after Brady, and they never did. Or was it Brady or was it Baker? I don't know. They had an opportunity to see what they had in Trask, and they never did. So the guy is not proven. I haven't seen anything from him, so that's what kind of scares me the most about our backup situation, because knock on wood, but I did say I wouldn't be surprised if we seen Baker out for a game or 2 this year, because again, like what you just said, Leo, he doesn't try to slide. He'll run you over. He tries to run you over, and then all it takes is a concussion, God forbid, a shoulder or whatever the case may be. But I think the Buccaneers are in good shape with the depth that they have now. MVP situation, I agree. I think he could definitely win the MVP if he puts up the same numbers he did last year. But the reason why he wasn't in the conversation to a lot of people outside the Tampa Bay media and that Tampa Bay market is because one thing, Leo, wins. Not enough wins and not a deep playoff push. I do believe if the Buccaneers won 13 games and they made it to the NFC Championship game and they lost by a field goal or something, I think he would have won the MVP. He had phenomenal numbers, 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns in 17 games, 16 interceptions. So he averaged about a pick a game. He's got to kind of drop those down a little bit. But the way you drop down those interceptions, you got to run the football more. So I ask you, biggest concern this year going into the season?
Let's break that down into 2 answers. Offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
I was brought up in the scouting profession by a guy by the name of Carmen Perone. He was the head scout for the New Orleans Saints, retired, and was talked into coming to work with our lad's scouting service by Tom Hepler, who hired me. And Carmen preached some things to me. One of the things he preached to me was you work from the ball out. What's the biggest concern that the Buccaneers have? It's got to be offensive line. If you work from the ball out, quarterback's good, wide receiver, tight end's good, but you got to keep that offensive line healthy, and it's got to get better. It's improved, but it's got to get better. That's the big. On the defensive side of the ball, again, closest to the ball, got to come up with a pass rush. Got to find a way to make a quarterback uncomfortable. You don't have to sack him, but you got to get him off his spot. That's the big thing. If a quarterback can throw it where he wants to, when he wants to, and to whom he wants to, they're winning the football game. He does a 5 or 7 step drop and he can step up in that pocket. You got problems. That's why Watson is such a great steal, because what he does is he forces a double team. I'm sorry. If I can get 10 to 15 plays out of that guy on 3rd down or 2nd and long, I can get that. My God, take it to the bank. Make it happen now. You put him next to number 50, hey, you got to block Vita, you got to block Watson.
Yeah.
That's 4 guys. I'm sorry.
A lot of meat. That's a lot of weight to block.
And the second thing, it's going to completely obliterate any type of tush push. Yeah. Because, like I said on Peter's show, all you got to do is put Watson and Vita Vea in there and say, okay, on the first tush push, go ahead. And then these 2 guys come off the top rope with the big splash. 700 pounds on your quarterback. I don't think they want that.
I don't think so, too. For me, the weakest link for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I agree. It's the pass rush, and it's because I have so many questions. I'm not sure about that inside linebacker position yet. I know a lot of people are high on Savasier Dennis. A lot of people are high on Walker. I completely understand that, but that's my only area of concern for me. And on the offense, again, same thing, offensive line. Can this offensive line stay healthy? Can Graham Barton avoid a sophomore slump year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because, man, that's probably one of the most important positions outside of left tackle and right tackle is the center. And we've seen it. We saw Brady's last year with Ryan Jensen not there. What happened, Leo? Wasn't very good. Can't run the football. Terrible.
The one guy you can't afford to lose in the offensive line is your center, because he makes all the calls for protection. The quarterback gives him a clue as to what's going on, but then he determines the protection, which way to go. And, yeah, losing Jensen was a huge loss. People don't realize how big a loss that was. And, again, I'm going back to Carmen Perone. When you start the same 5 offensive linemen from last year to this year, great cohesion. For every position you change, it takes 2 games. And I can remember last year, the Buccaneers had 3 changes. It took to the middle of October before they started to get comfortable. The hardest position, look at your offensive line coaches. Most of them are in their 70s and 80s. Why? Because it's hard to find.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And once you find them, they're not going away. They want to retire. You're trying to convince them to stay working. Because trying to get 5 as 1, boy, I'll tell you what, it's the hardest position to coach because you got 5 guys. It's not like a wide receivers. Okay, one guy's running one route, one guy's running another route. It's not like defensive line. You got to have these 5 guys working as 1.
Absolutely. So we're going to go to the comments here, Leo. We got somebody that wants to ask you a question. Tim Haynes wants to ask you a question. Haynes, I believe I said that right. Yeah, I need to get glasses. Can you ask Leo how he feels about Kyle Trask? Interested in his opinion. So what's your opinion on Kyle Trask, Leo?
The hardest thing is that there's no data. And again, I'm going to blame that on Tom Brady, the coaching staff, whatever. I don't know who to blame it on. But you should be able to have got there and figured out, like you said, 1 game didn't matter. They'd already clinched it. They should have at least got him in the game to find out what was going on, what they had. You can't be going into as far of the season and into his career as he has and still not know what you got. And that's the biggest problem. You don't know what you got.
Yeah.
It's a guessing game. You think you know what you got, but you don't know what you got.
That's why I tell Buck fans all the time, Leo. See, I feel like I'm an old soul when it comes to football. I like to watch film. I like the All-22. I'll sit there and watch it 2 or 3 times just to kind of see who did what's going on. And I always said, if you want to know about this team, you want to know about your team, you have to watch the preseason, because those are going to be the guys. Those are the depth guys. If they can't shine against second and third and fourth stringers, you got problems. If your depth can't do that, if you we seen Sean Tucker in the preseason, I was like, hey man, this he's got it. He's running people over. He's got it. I got another question for you here, Leo. Lamar. Leo, what are you think? Well, I think he's trying to say, Leo, what are your thoughts about special teams? He took the words right out of my mouth, because that's what I was going to ask you, because I feel like special teams is going to be a huge. I think it's going to be a strong suit of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you say?
You win and lose a lot of games with special teams. Again, people have to understand, a punt is an offensive play. You're moving the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. That's an offensive play. Again, when you look at what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, their place kicking, field goals, looks like it's pretty much in shape. The punter, that's just, who's the next guy up?
Right.
It's, catch the ball, punt the ball. And there's 32 guys in this league that can punt a football, believe me.
Oh, yeah.
It's something, and again, I can remember when the Giants got vilified because they punted the ball to Sean Jackson. Remember with the Eagles?
Oh, yeah.
Ball, right? And everybody said, why did he punt it out of bounds? Why did he punt it out of bounds? Well, guess what? I went up to the Giants and I talked to Coach Davis the next year. He was the special team coach. I said, Coach, you put that punter on the 20-yard line, and you tell him to punt the ball out of bounds. How many times is he going to be able to do that? He said 4, maybe 5. I said, that's just holding the ball and kicking it. Now we talk about he got a bad snap, he got moved off his way. He's just trying to get rid of it. The fact that you think you can sit there and punt the ball, there's nothing worse than being a punter in the National Football League, and you see 9 guys coming down on you.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know where it's coming from, because you're trying to keep an eye on the ball coming back, and you're sneaking a peek. Okay, are they coming up the middle? They coming right? They coming? Where are they coming from? And how fast do I got to get this off? So a lot of things goes into that. The special teams will be a long suit for the Buccaneers. And again, guys, I got to get off here, but keep in mind a couple things. One, in the NFL, in 16 games, there's 2 you're going to win that you were not supposed to, and there's 2 you're going to lose you're not supposed to.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's good. I'm going to remember that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it happens. It's just the nature of the beast. And the second thing to remember is that there's 2 things you cannot sit there and determine before the game. Injuries, turnovers. You can't determine. That changes the dynamic of football games quickly. Louis, hey, sorry I got on late.
No, you're fine, Leo. You listen, when you come on this show, you make your own hours. I don't care. You're the boss, man. You make your own hours. You're a legend.
You have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday night with Peter.
Absolutely.
Take care, brother.
Take care. Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, man. If you haven't, go follow him. Go read. I'm telling you, dude. Check him out. That dude, I could sit there and talk football with him all day. You want to talk about knowledge, been around the block, knowledge, like that dude has got it, man. Like I said, I could sit there and talk with Leo all day. All right, guys. We're going to do some more Buccaneers talk. I'm going to get to the comments because I actually want to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay Rays. Whoa, Louis wants to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, I want to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay Rays. I actually really do. But let's get to the comments. Look at that. Bucs, Rays, Bolts. Baltimore 0, Rays 0. Top of the third. If anybody in the comment section, please update me on that score. I'm kind of curious. I don't have. So if you've seen my garage right now, this is where I do the podcast. Oh, I know. I start my podcast in the garage. Listen, it's my away from the away upstairs. Just kidding. I love my family. But I'm kind of redoing everything to make like a better suited area for me to do the podcast and stuff like that to get more comfortable because we're going to be doing all walks of life. So I kind of have my workbench here in this one area, and I'm building something over here for when I do all walks of life. Because we have guests, we want them to be comfortable in this area. You guys get the shtick. But yeah, I mean, so it's kind of all over the place right now. But yeah, I don't have a monitor set up yet. I need to get my monitor set up down here so that way I can watch the games and be right there with you guys in real time. So I want to get to these comments because I want to play a video real quick, but let's finish up with these comments. Abraham Hassan was working with his trainer during that time. What world are we? What are people living in? What world are people living in? Look, that's just Buck fans tend to overreact, in my opinion. They just tend to overreact. You know, it's that's just how Buccaneer fans are. Always overreacting about the dumb shit. Yeah, I said it. There we go. That's a little bit better. And the open phone line. I apologize. So something must be going on. Peter was kind of supposed to produce for me. Thanks, Pete. No, just kidding, man. It's all right. It's all good. But we are going to be having an open phone line. 727-255-0391 as the same number as the Sports Web every Monday and Wednesday. All right. So I apologize for that. Next week we will do better. We will have an open phone line. So I'll just next Monday or Wednesday talk to Peter and say, hey, what's up? What happened to the open phone line with the Frozen Fire podcast? All right, let's get back to these comments. I already talked to Leo about that. Elijah Klein is a solid backup interior offensive lineman. Yeah, you know, like I said, the offensive line, in my opinion, I think they're going to be fine as long as they can stay healthy. That's my main concern, and that's the main concern with this whole team. They have to stay healthy. They have to stay healthy. Like, hands down, they have to stay healthy. What happened last year on that secondary was atrocious with the defense. Atrocious. A lot of injuries. Lots of injuries. And a lot of Buccaneer fans out there that do shows and stuff like that. And this is no disrespect to anybody, but people got to understand that when you have a lot of injuries, it kind of F's up what you're trying to do as a team. I don't care what anybody says. So, but this is a prove it or lose it type of deal for Coach Bowles this year. I will say that. All right, Rob Thompson says the only worry for me is something happens to Baker. We are screwed. We have great depth everywhere else. Well, that's the thing. And I love that comment. So shout out to you, man. That right there, that comment, I can't agree with you more. We have depth everywhere. This is probably one of the best teams, one of the best Buccaneer ball clubs I've seen in a long time with depth. I mean, I said that last year, and then I seen the last game of the preseason. I said we have an effing problem. And that was based off the draft class that we had last year, which was a very good draft class. The offensive line, the running back situation, I think is what's really going to carry this team. In my opinion, there's great depth at the running back position, and you want to be able to run the ball late in the season. You want to be able to grind down defenses. That's why the Commanders beat us. So, again, that's where the depth is, and I think they have better depth and better rotation for the secondary, too. I think the defense is much more improved, and they have a lot of depth there. But again, guys, I know we don't like the preseason. Go watch the preseason. Study it. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about this team as far as depth goes. All right. Abraham says Clyde Christensen never gave him a chance as QB coach. Yeah, you know, listen, and I'm going to address this. Buccaneer fans, the reason why I feel like Trask never got a chance is because when Bruce Arians was here, he loved Baker Mayfield. When he was doing commentary for that 1 year, rant and raved about Baker Mayfield. Then he came to Tampa as a coach, and then we got Jameis for that year, then Brady, and then Brady again for the second year, and then Bruce stepped down, and then Brady retired. Guess who came through that door? Baker Mayfield. So that's why Kyle Trask never got the chance. I thought when Dave Canales was here, I thought they were sticking with Trask. You can go back to the original episodes of the Frozen Pirate podcast. That was, geez, 3 years ago now, almost 3 years ago. I want to say, yeah, 3 years now. Um, you can find those episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. We're on there as well. I try to upload as much as I can of the show to there, but it's all audio. So if you guys can't watch us or it gets cut short, you got something to do, guess what? Go to Apple, go to Spotify, go to iHeartRadio, take us on the go. Or you can just pay for the YouTube premium and you can, shut your phone off or whatever, turn it off and have it on the Bluetooth, if you will. But I had an episode called Trask and Canales are good. And I was ranting and raving like this is good because Canales came from Seattle and he really helped develop Geno Smith. It's really going to be good for Kyle Trask. He sat 2 years behind Brady. Spending and I kind of got heat for that, and I never understood that. I mean, to me, that was a valid point. You drafted a quarterback in the second round. You used your second round pick. He sat behind Brady for a couple of years. You would think that's the guy next man up. And apparently, I guess if you don't agree with certain people, this Buccaneer media is not. I wouldn't say the media, but like sometimes, man, it's harsh, man. Like, chill. Tim Haynes says Leo is great. I love Leo, man. Like I said, I can talk hours. We're actually going to be doing a show. I believe he said July 31st. He wants to do the show. Top 50 Buccaneers of all time. And that's going to be kind of interesting. So stay tuned for that. Our top 50 list for the 50th season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So you're going to listen and see from two different eras of football because I'm 1995 on. That's my era. And Leo has been there since the beginning. So you're going to see two different eras of Buccaneer preferences and players. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Lamar says, I had one. Who do you think is going to make special teams, Louis? I think, in my opinion, as far as special teams, like, are you asking me who's going to be on special teams or who's going to be like the kick returner / punt returner? If you're asking me who's going to be the kick returner and punt returner or the guy that's going to make some noise, for me, I have a couple of guys. Shiloh, I think Shiloh makes the team, and I think he makes special teams. I think he makes some noise there. I really do. I'm really pulling for Shiloh. I want him on the team. I think he can contribute big time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he's physical. I think him and Savassier, both on that field. Savassier is very physical. He's a thumper. And Shiloh really has a nose for the football. He can knock the football out. So, and that's what we need on defense. We need ball hawks, and we need people who can punch that ball out, in my opinion. So if you're asking me who's going to be the guy on special teams, I mean, I like Shiloh, and I really like Tej Johnson. I think Tej Johnson is going to have a couple of returns for touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised. Shout out to Damn U2 Sports Talk. TB Rays up for sale. They are. And we're going to get into that after I'm done reading these comments because I'm kind of interested. I want to hear what you guys have to say. We did a lot of talking with Rays yesterday. With JP, he joined us on the Sports Web. Remember, guys, every Monday and Wednesday, 8 o'clock, the Sports Web. Myself, Peter Blake. We had Seneca Wallace on yesterday. Got to ask him a cool question about where his head's at as far as his situation with the Battlehawks. Also, what he thinks about Drake May. I asked him the question, can he be successful there in New England? And I'm not going to tell you everything, but you got to go back and you got to go check out the show from yesterday, Sports Web. That was a good show, man. Solid. Very appreciative I'm very fortunate to sit here and talk with these professional athletes, man. I never thought in a long time I would be doing that. Oh wow, we got a lot of race talk. We're gonna get into that. I'm gonna take a little break. Sitting on a million. Yes, sir. Love it, bro. Appreciate that. Abraham, I see your comments there. I'm gonna take a quick little break because I want to play this video real quick. So those of you guys who are joining us now that didn't get to see it at the beginning of the show, a good friend of mine who tattoos, he's basically done a lot of this work on my arms everywhere. You name it, just killed this piece right here. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but I know a lot of people ask about the tattoos. That's Mahakala. That's a deity, and so I respect the hell out of this guy because where I come from, it's not easy to make it, and just the vibe, the atmosphere at Fall River Tattoo Company, um, and just the personalities there, especially Bruce, are awesome. I'm gonna play this video. I want you guys to go check it out, like it, and support him. Because like I said, a lot of people are like, hey, your accent, your logo, this and that. If you really want to find out where I come from, this dude is living, breathing Fall River, Mass. In my opinion, this dude is Fall River, Massachusetts, represents it, and he represents it well. And it's a great, great mini documentary. I'm gonna put the link in my bio. Also, I'm gonna make it available. I'm gonna post it so you guys can go check it out, give it a follow, and share it because I'm doing a free jersey giveaway. I want to see who's loyal to this show, man. This is how you're gonna get your free jersey giveaway. I might do 2 jerseys. I don't know yet. But I'm gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna make it interesting. I'm gonna do jersey giveaways. I'm gonna do stuff, and I'm gonna start getting some T-shirts in the work, man, and all that fun stuff. But I want to see you guys share this video. I want to see you guys share it to your story and stuff like that. I'm gonna make it available. I'm gonna make the clip available on my story, and then I'm gonna put the link to it as well. And again, that goes a long way to a free jersey giveaway. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this, just because, like I said, this dude deserves the credit. And again, if you're ever in the area and you want to get tattooed, this is the dude to go to, Mr. Bruce, Fall River Tattoo Company. But without further ado, if you haven't joined us and you missed early on in the show, here it is.
I'm borderline narcissist megalomaniac, left unchecked. You should stop me whenever. Thank God my wife does that, but you know.
When the boat is landing,
Everybody's looking for identity. I wasn't playing school sports.
and more,
I'm certainly not a musician, which I'd like to be. But I could do this thing. People didn't care that I could draw. But when they found out that I was willing to do tattoos on them, man, I was in. I was in. So I could go to every party. I could go to parties at the railroad tracks with all the jocks and the rich kids. I could go to the projects and hang out with kids that were in gangs at 16. And I could walk among all these people. And not only could I be in there, but these people wanted me in there. It gave me an ability to be somebody.
while you take a trip in a battleship on the old Fall River line, on the old Fall River line, on the old Fall River line.
Yeah, man, that's Fall River, dude. That's where I come from. Again, if you guys are interested, please go give that a like and subscribe. I mean, a like, and go check out the YouTube video. I will make it available. Make sure you guys are following the Instagram channel, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Make sure you're following the X, I don't know, X, Twitter, whatever the hell it goes by. And it's Louis at FPP. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. That goes a long way. Like I said, I'm not bullshitting, man. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I will give away a free jersey. I am going to give away a free jersey. Any jersey of your choice, not the $300 authentic jersey. What do you think? I made out of money? I get it. I'm a blue collar worker. I do construction. They call us the high class scumbags. That's cool, making that money, but still, I ain't buying you a $300 jersey. You can get the hell out of here, kid. But anyways, follow me on Facebook, Louis Lateo. That's Leitao. That's my last name. And send me a friend request there because, like I said, I want to start streaming more on Facebook as well. And Instagram, the Frozen Pirate Podcast, also available at Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. You can take us to go there. Let's get to it. Again, the boss man would be so happy, Mr. Peter Blake. He would be so happy right now. He is not here. I'm gonna send an invite to somebody. I'm gonna see if they'd like to join. We'll see what happens. But let's get into some race talk. A lot of stuff going on. with the Tampa Bay Rays? Are they for sale? Somebody says they are. A lot of stories coming out. Potential buyer of the Tampa Bay Rays, Patrick Zalupski. Deal is worth up to $1.7 billion. Now, as someone who is getting into baseball a little bit more, because again, being from Massachusetts, I grew up on the Sox. I was never a big fan, of baseball or the Red Sox, and I mean, I would go to games, but I was never intrigued by them. Never intrigued about the Red Sox. And I just, everybody, I get it. We had the greatest comeback ever. I mean, it's safe to say that you guys had a great comeback last night. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that comeback. Look, I was never really a fan of the Red Sox. Never really got into the Red Sox. And then as I started becoming older and started really getting into, like, I was always a Buccaneers fan since 1995. That just, the team gravitated to me just because of the simple fact that for me, it was Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp, and I followed them throughout their college career as a kid. I remember watching them on TV. Florida State Seminoles, Miami Hurricanes. You guys know the story. And then as I got older, in my early 20s, really started getting into the Tampa Bay Lightning. Never a Bruins fan. Never got into the Bruins. My father, who's no longer here with us, he was ashamed because I didn't like any sports teams that he liked. It was always the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now the Tampa Bay Rays. And I started watching a little bit, and because everybody was talking about Stu and how this dude's a terrible owner. I watched my first Rays game a couple of years ago when I was down in St. Pete. The wife almost got hit by a foul ball by Juan DeFranco, and I was trying to grab the ball, but I think they were playing the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies fan grabbed that ball, and I was pissed. I was like, "Hey, give it to my kid." You know what I'm saying? He's at the time he was 6. No, he's 5 years old. Give it to my kid, man. It's his first ball game at the ballpark at the Tropicana Field, a lovely Tropicana Field. I'll get into that in a bit. But she no interest in giving the ball. And you know what? The universe works in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways because she can keep that ball. Thank you. But I started becoming a fan of the Rays. I don't know what you call it, a fair weather fan or whatever. That's not true. Because at the beginning of the year, Peter Blake put up on the sports web, how many games are the Rays going to win? 92? Under or over? I took over. And I said, there's something special about the team because now they're not at the Trop, and that's devastating. Not having a ballpark, you got to, now you guys got to deal with the heat, and it's not enclosed, and it's not really home, but at least you're in Tampa. And I'm like, there's something about it. There's something about this year that's going to be special for the Tampa Bay Rays. And I said, I think they're going to be over 90. I think I picked them to, I picked over 92 games. And I said, this is going to be a special season. And then as I'm doing the sports web with Peter, a lot of people are very upset with the Rays. They weren't doing so hot. And I told everybody, hey, I will never claim to, I'll never sit here and say, oh, I know this about the Rays. And I'm not going to bullshit you. Or as the late, great Steve Dumick would say, I'm not going to bullspit you. Because I'm not. This is where you guys come in and kind of help me out here becoming the best possible Rays fan I can possibly be. I want the knowledge here because I am a fan of the Rays. And I told Peter, I said, this is going to be a special season for them, in my opinion. It's just about when they need to get hot at the right time. And they were losing consistently. I think they were like 5 or 6 games back at one point, behind the Red Sox, behind the Yanks. And I was just like, man, you guys need to calm down. There's a lot of baseball to play. And sure as shit, look, series winning streak. The bats are starting to crack. They were down 8-0 yesterday, put up 12 unanswered runs. and you got the news. Team's going to be sold. That's huge, man. Especially for someone like me who's now entering a different phase. I don't know, maybe because I'm getting older and baseball now, I'm kind of really starting to resonate with it. It's calm, in my opinion. It's exciting for someone like me because I'm sitting here looking at this team and I'm like, wow, they have a shitty owner. I hear from one media source that, the owner's not really that bad. And then I hear from another media source like, hey, this is the problem, And I kind of did my own research and yeah, man, you guys got a problem. It's the owner. The owner's a problem. They need to sell the team because the culture sucks. If you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, they were terrible. New ownership, culture changed. Culture matters. You look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when the Glazers came in, rebranded that team. New stadium. They brought in Tom Brady later on. Culture matters. Ownership matters. If you have bad ownership, it's no different than you going into your damn toxic job every day. You get what I'm saying? So when I heard the news yesterday, when that news was broken, I was excited. I'm like, hey, I'm a part of this. I'm a Rays fan now. Like, I'm a Rays fan. Like, all right, cool. Like, I feel like I'm entering a new era of Rays baseball. Let's hope that the sale can go through. All right, let's go to the comments because I see Abraham here. Hillsborough County Commissioner Ken Hagan believed the potential buyers announced Wednesday will move the team to Tampa. I think they should. Listen, I'm not a resident of the Tampa Bay area. I'm not a resident of the St. Pete area. I'm a resident of Massachusetts. I'm looking to move out of Massachusetts. But one thing I will tell you, when I was at St. Pete, I wasn't a fan of that ballpark. It was very outdated. In my opinion, wasn't a huge fan of it. I would love to see the team move to Tampa. Go back to the comments. Zalupski is good friends with Governor Ron DeSantis. Hagan said he also recently met with DeSantis, who would support state funding, subsidizing stadium infrastructure. That's huge. As long as you guys, the taxpayers, are not getting killed, then I think it will benefit you guys. I think the team should be in Tampa. Shouldn't be in St. Pete. I think that team should be in Tampa. You guys live out there. Let me know where you guys would like to see the team. I'm curious. I'm just curious because maybe by the time I move out there, maybe the new stadium will be all set. Where do you think the new stadium is going to be? Where would you guys want it to be? Hagan believes, this is Abraham as well. Hagan believes Ybor City is now an even greater possibility. Hey, man, I like Ybor City a lot. I do. Hagan, a long time proponent of moving the team across the bay, told WDAE Wednesday that he met with Sean 2 weeks ago to discuss Ybor. I like Ybor City, man. I like that brewery you guys have too, Cigar City Brewery. Had a couple of beers over there. You guys really don't. I mean, we went there in the summertime. I mean, I drank I think a rack of them, and I had a really strong buzz on. But as soon as I went outside, I started sweating, and it was gone. So, Abraham, Nick Jackson, along with Shiloh Sanders, Louis Lateo. For special teams, again, you guys got to go watch the preseason. You guys got to go watch the preseason, man. It's very important to watch the preseason for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because you're going to live and die by the depth of your team, especially if you face a lot of injuries. Let's get back to the Rays talk. I want to know in the comments, where do you guys want to see this team? Where do you want to see them? Do you guys want them to remain in Tampa? Do you guys want them to remain? Do you guys want them to see them stay in Tampa? Do you guys want them to move? Or you want them to stay in St. Pete, or you want them to go to Tampa? Me personally, in my opinion, guys, I'd like to see the team go to Tampa. I think if you can find somewhere like next to the Ray J or something and get that going, I'm telling you, I think that'd be huge for the team. It's just a shame. It's just what do you do? I think they're going to stay at the Trop. I think they're going to play there at the Trop even when they finalize a stadium deal. I think they have one more year at where they're at right now. And then I think eventually they're gonna do like a farewell thing at the Trop, in my opinion. That's just me. So, damn you two Sports Talk says Tampa Bay Rays have had some good talented players. TB just don't keep them. Well, it's not it's not Tampa Bay. It's the ownership don't want to pay. From what I've done, from the research, and from what I hear from people, the owner doesn't want to pay. And in my opinion, that's a big effing problem. That's a shit culture. That's a shit culture, man. And I asked the question yesterday on the Sports Web, how many World Series do you think this team would have won if they winded up just paying the players and building around them? I've heard countlessly 2020, the '08, excuse me, the '08 season. So you're talking 2 World Series here. Hey, man, I don't know. All right, guys, I'd like to keep this going. I did my due diligence. I did a little bit of Rays talk. If you guys want to keep talking Rays, another 5 minutes, I'm going to have final thoughts. I asked somebody to be on. They didn't. That's whatever. Let me see here. Yeah. You know what? Let's do some final thoughts. Unless somebody decides to chime in. Real quickly, as always, guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Frozen Pirate Podcast, free jersey giveaway. I can't say that enough. Free jersey giveaway. And I'm going to put up the clip for Mr. Bruce. I want to see you guys share it. Make sure you tag him and you tag myself and put Frozen Pirate Podcast. Because like I said, that means a lot. Like I said, that clip that I showed you guys, if you guys like tattoo and you like artwork, that's a street shop right there. Any style you want, man. You walk in the door, you're bound to have a great conversation with somebody. He's going to make you laugh. Just don't move. And it's quick, man. Quick, a little painful, but it's quick. Just, again, near dear friend of mine. Go out there, like the video, go support him. And that's going to enter you in a chance for a free jersey giveaway. Because like I said, I look at all that stuff. I see who's extremely loyal to the show. All right, let's do final thoughts here. My final thoughts, just in case if you guys have missed the show. Like I said, get into the comment section. Like I said, maybe I might keep this going. There you go. Sorry, Louis, I'm not a huge baseball fan. Hey, man, I wasn't a huge baseball fan, but I mean, right now, there's just something inside me where I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm intrigued with the Rays. I am. And I'm looking to be a lifelong fan of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's what's missing in my life, a little bit of baseball, because I never really paid attention to baseball. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I'll watch it. I'm just not a fan of the league anymore, the way it goes. Maybe I'm going to talk my shit now. I'm not a fan of the NBA. I grew up in an era where, Jordan didn't want to play with Magic. He didn't want to play with Bird. He didn't want to play with Barkley, Patrick Ewing. These guys all wanted to beat each other. They didn't do super teams. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, Dennis Rodman, he had Rodman, he had Pippen. Okay. I mean, nobody really wanted those guys. Dennis Rodman, nobody wanted to touch that guy. So, and yeah, he had Pippen. But again, the NBA today is, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the NBA today. All right, let's see. Louis, you were added to the FB Tampa Bay Sports chat on Facebook. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Like I said, look, guys, if you're just joining the Frozen Pirate Podcast, I started this a long time ago, 3 years ago, with the intentions of, I don't think this is going to work. But I was passionate about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, here I am 3 years later with all these listeners and all these followers. Like, it just kind of happened. Like I said, there was a point last year I was going to quit, and then hooked up with Peter. He said, hey, man, come on the Sports Web. Come check us out. Come join us. This and that. And ever since then, that one time had me hooked back in. And here I am today. And it's probably one of the best decisions I made. Like I said, this is just the beginning, man. Like, for me, this is just the beginning. You guys are going to see a lot of cool things. I can't wait till the season starts for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because you're gonna see me unhinged. Like I said, feel free to go back and listen to some of those old episodes. On Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. Go back and listen to some of those old episodes with Jay. Me and Jay, just you hear us drinking and being obnoxious, and it was fun though. It was fun, and at that time, I thought I had like 5 people listening. I thought I was only gonna have 5, and now it's surpassed that. And I appreciate every single person who tunes in. I appreciate every single person who joins the show. Every co-host I've ever had. To me, that's a blessing. Like I said, you guys are truly making a kid from Massachusetts his dream come true. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, you guys don't have to be here. You guys don't have to listen. You guys have so many different outlets to sports talk radio. You have so many different outlets for podcasts and stuff like that, and you're here right now. And I appreciate that. And does stuff like that goes a long way with me. All right, let's get into final thoughts. Enough of the sentimental stuff. But again, I appreciate you guys, every single one of you guys, because without you guys, right, thoughts and topics that we talked about, just in case if you missed it. I was talking about Simeon Rice. Is he up there with Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt? Absolutely. The dude has more sacks than they do. He meant a lot more to the team because when he got here, see, Aaron Donald was drafted to them. When he got here, he brought another gear to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And as far as strip sacks go, he was the best to do it. He was the king. So in my opinion, that dude's the first ballot Hall of Famer, and I'm putting him past Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt. That's just my opinion, and I'm not being a biased Buccaneers fan. I'm not saying, oh, it's just because he's a Buck. Nah, man, that's my honest opinion. Again, I'm a football realist. Simeon Rice really, really changed the complexity of that defense. He gave him that juice, man. That's all I'm looking for, some juice. That's my John Gruden impersonation right there. All right, Buccaneers' weakest link heading into camp. For me, it's the inside linebacker position, just because I don't know what's there. Hopefully, when the preseason comes, it'll change my mind. I like Savasier, but he's been banged up. I haven't seen enough of him. He's very physical, but Levante David is starting to slow down a little bit. He's up there in age, and hopefully the Buccaneers can deliver. So for me, that's my weakest link right now is inside linebacker position. Hopefully, Walker can really set the tone there. Which unit is the Bucs' strongest? In my opinion, it's their run game. 3-headed monster. Running the football consistently. Watching the trenches. Watching, you can kind of see who's getting the push, who's going to win that game. If you can control the line of scrimmage and Bucky Irvin can have a repeat performance, I'm telling you right now, it's the strongest unit on this team is the running game. You need to have a deep running game. You need to be able to run the football come November, December, and January. We don't know where we're going to play. You could play in Green Bay. You could play in, one of these cold areas, man. You don't want to do that. Hopefully they have home field advantage. Hopefully they're in the NFC Championship game at home in Tampa. I mean, if they are, shit, I'm going down. Are you kidding me? I'm going down. But for me, the strongest unit on this team is the running game. 3-headed monster, Sean Tucker, who's like a mini Mike Allstar. He's a wrecking ball. You have Rashad White, who can pick up a blitz. He can catch out of the backfield. And you have Bucky Irvin, who can just run and shifty. He can out-juke you. Like, that's the strongest unit on this team, in my opinion. Baker Mayfield, can he have an MVP season? You got to, in my opinion, yes, he can. He has to. The turnovers, the interceptions have to come down a little bit, in my opinion, and they got to win at least 13 games, and they have to be in the NFC Championship game for him to win MVP because they're never going to give it to him. You got guys like Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, and Buck fans, we know the media is not very friendly to this team. So, one topic I did not get to talk about, and I'm going to leave it at this. Will contract years for players spark a Super Bowl run? In my opinion, money talks, bullshit walks. We'll talk about this topic on the next episode of the Frozen Pirate Podcast. You know, you got a lot of guys going into a contract year, including Rashad White. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Give you guys something to think about and something to wait on. That's going to be the next topic when we come back to the Frozen Pirate podcast. And also, State of the South. That's a topic we're going to be doing all the time. I don't see anybody else doing it. So if you hear anything about State of the South, that's bullshit. We started that here at the Frozen Pirate podcast / the Sports Web. We are the evolution in sports talk. Catch me on the Sports Web Monday through Wednesday, Monday and Wednesday, 8 o'clock to whenever time. And we do Turnbuckle Talk. If you're a wrestling fan, we do Turnbuckle Talk on Wednesdays, late night. Trying to get Peter to do a separate show for that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then Thursdays, 7:30 to whenever time. It's 9 o'clock? Yeah, it's just about my bedtime. We do the Frozen Pirate podcast, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, this couldn't be done without you guys, the audience. Free jersey giveaway coming soon. I'm going to post that clip to my story. Make sure you guys share the clip, and I'm going to share the link in my bio, and I'm also going to share the link in my story so you guys can go check out that video. Let me know what you think about the video, because it's going to go a long way, and you're supporting a good friend of mine who I have great respect for. There's never a dull moment. I'm going to try and get him on here on all walks of life. I hope he can. I hope he wants to get on. That would be fantastic if he can get on, because that would be a wild episode. I don't think you guys are ready for that, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll try to make it happen. And we'll see. Let me see. I got a commenter here. Jeremy Hefner. We need Dunlap. Hold that thought. Like I said, the next episode, we got a few things coming. I can't cover everything. You know, it's slow season, man, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. We're in the dog days of summer for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're waiting for training camp to come. So let's hold off on that, and we'll see. As always, guys, State of the South, final thoughts. That's something that's going to be a segment revolving on the show all the time. I'm going to get a couple other Saint fans, Falcon fan. I'm going to try and collaborate with everybody to do State of the South, and so we can get an in-depth insight of the team. Again, guys, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Go follow me on X, Louis FPP. On TikTok, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Not really doing too much over there. That's for the younger crowd. Instagram, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. Facebook, Louis Leitao, Leitao. YouTube, the Frozen Pirate Podcast. I greatly appreciate it. And if you guys can't finish the episode, what do I always say? You can take us to go. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or just subscribe to YouTube Premium. That's what I do. Screw all the ads, screw all the commercials. With all that being said, guys, F the Saints, fire the cannons, let's go Bucs, and treat each other with kindness. A lot of stuff going on in the world. Peace. Until next time.